we're Mark and Paula. We're leaving our time learning about dinosaurs, incredible geography, and lakes. Our adventure starts as soon as we leave our camping area on Scenic Drive 191. As we drive, the landscape begins to change. Juniper and sagebrush soon gives way to wide open views. The Uinta Mountains, one of the only east-west ranges in North America, begin to rise on the horizon. As the elevation increases, the air cools and pine and aspen forests emerge before descending into Flaming Gorge. There couldn't be a more elegant gateway to Flaming Gorge than the Cart Creek Bridge. Normally, we can't stop at the visitor center with a trailer intact, but here there's lots of room. Since Flaming Gorge is packed with things to see and do, this is a great first stop to get an overview and learn about the impressive engineering.
In 1962, years after the first dream of it, the massive structure is topped out, and here, where there was nothing before, is planted at last 1 million cubic yards of rock, sand, and cement soaring 500 feet skyward to master the once unpredictable green. A vision finally materialized and dedicated to the lasting.
Water is the key. The management of water, I think, is the key that will open a very bright future. And therefore I will now take action which will start the first generator at Flaming Gorge Dam. I never know when I press these whether it means we're going to blow up Massachusetts or light a fire or electricity, but I'm going the assumption that we are going to start the generator.
Loni Anderson narrated and starred in one that showed all the outdoor recreation here. But surprisingly, the movies that they're still showing were timeless and seemed relevant today. You can learn a lot about the building of the dam here as well. From the visitor center viewing deck, you're looking out over Flaming Gorge Dam and the reservoir behind it. It's a concrete thin arch dam designed to transfer the force of the water into the canyon walls. Construction began in 1958 and finished in 1964. One of the first steps was diverting the Green River through two 1,100-foot long tunnels drilled into the canyon walls. Wow! This allowed crews to excavate and build a dry riverbed. The project used over 300,000 cubic yards of concrete poured into blocks to allow controlled cooling and reduce the risk of cracking. Because curing concrete generates heat, a system of cooling pipes was installed inside the structure to circulate chilled water. This helped regulate temperature and maintain the dam's long-term integrity. Construction took place during the Cold War era when large infrastructure projects were closely tied to national growth and energy development. Flaming Gorge Recreation Area has over 40 campgrounds, with around 700 to 860 campsites total, including 27 group sites. These are open to the public and vary from full-service RV sites with electric hookups to primitive hike-in or boat-in sites. Even with all the possibilities here for camping, we're choosing to do something a little different: boondocking. And we're picking the ultra coolest spot, if that's even a phrase. The road into Jug Hollow is wide coming in. Be smart what roads you turn down, and you might have to slow down if it gets a little washboardy. When we started to get to areas with lots of campsites, we took out our side-by-side to scout, and the spot we had thought would be great turned out to be available. Yep, this will do. This one is definitely going on our favorite boondocking spots in Utah video. Something unique about this spot is a natural kayak launch. I would assume this would change depending on how full the lake is, but it seems like a perfect little gift. Something that really surprised me here is the color of the water. It changed from green along the shore to a deep blue, and the water was clear. The scenery along the shore wasn't too shabby either, and since we didn't have to pack up our kayak and drive somewhere, we went out on the lake more often than we usually have time for, allowing us to take advantage of the perfect conditions. This paddle ranks very high in our list of lake kayaking. It was beautiful. We ran into some weather this week, but the lake is even beautiful then. Flaming Gorge was the first major dam built on the Green River and became a key part of the Colorado River Storage Project, a system of reservoirs and power plants designed to manage water, control floods, and generate hydroelectricity across the upper Colorado River basin. 3 hydroelectric generators inside the dam produce up to 151 megawatts of electricity, which supports power grids across several western states. Water stored in the Flaming Gorge Reservoir is also released to meet downstream water rights and to support endangered fish species as required by federal law. All of this makes the dam a key part of the long-term management of the Colorado River system. Flaming Gorge Dam was located here at Red Canyon partially to take advantage of the canyon's curve. The shape of the canyon also made it ideal to build both the diversion tunnels and the spillway. Since we don't have our trailer with us now, we can drive behind the dam to get a new perspective. We can't help but be impressed by this dam. From this vantage point, you can also see the concrete pillar that is permanently installed on a base. The reason for this, with the help of a measuring instrument affixed to the pillar, it can detect any movement in the dam. I suppose that's important. Makes you think, doesn't it? There are several reference pillars located throughout the area. We continued on this road to check out the launching area for rafting the Green River from Flaming Gorge Dam. This is the start of the popular Section A, a scenic 7-mile stretch down to Little Hole. It's known for clear water, steep Red Canyon walls, and mostly easy rapids. We're told that you don't need a permit to float here if you're going privately, but camping and fires are not allowed in this section. The river stays cold year-round, so proper gear is important. There's only a couple of towns at Flaming Gorge. Dutch John was founded as a federal construction camp to support the building of Flaming Gorge Dam. After the dam was done, the town gradually transitioned into a small gateway community for outdoor recreation. Today we're going to take a drive up Scenic Highway 44 to Red Canyon. We'll be rising to over 7,000 feet. The visitor center was closed, even though the sign said it would be open. Looking through the windows, it didn't look like there was much there, but we really came to see the overlook anyway. The short little trails take you to some spectacular views. One of the things that amaze me here are great and diverse views everywhere you turn. Red Canyon has towering cliffs of crimson and ochre rising nearly 1,400 feet above the shimmering ribbon of the Green River. We think that this area of Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area is one of the most breathtaking sections. It's a dramatic showcase of geology. One of the first European Americans to explore the Green River was John Wesley Powell, a one-armed Civil War veteran and geologist. In 1869, he led a daring expedition down the uncharted river, navigating rapids and canyons and wooden boats. His journey through what he called a region of wildest desolation brought the first detailed knowledge of this rugged landscape. It was Powell, in fact, who gave Flaming Gorge its vivid name. As the sun hit the red sandstone walls, they seemed to ignite in brilliant shades of fire, a sight so striking Powell could only describe it as flaming. Because the reservoir extends upstream for over 90 miles, it provides a rest stop for migratory waterfowl, such as ducks and geese. And make sure you look up, because the cliffs around the lake provide favorable nesting sites for osprey, falcons, and golden eagles. Birds like the bald eagle winter here. We like driving around an area and enjoy looking at different amenities. On one of those drives near Dutch John, we noticed a large burn scar. So big there were even signs warning about risk of flooding due to past wildfires. It turns out this area has seen a few major fires. The most recent was a Spears fire in 2024, which burned over 700 acres just south of the town. In 2023, the Sunny Cove fire scorched about 85 acres nearby, and back in 2002, the Mustang Ridge fire burned more than 22,000 acres. There are plenty of places to go off-roading in this area, but we didn't venture too far. Right in the Jug Hollow area, we found lots of smaller roads to explore, along with some great views of the lake. It was also a good chance to check out how much space there is for boondocking and what size rigs the different spots could accommodate. What did we find? Plenty of boondocking for all types of setups. Along with larger fifth wheels, we even saw a Class A with a nice sight. Not sure how many people would feel comfortable with their Class A here, but we found one. Today we're heading back to the west side of the recreation area to take a 13-mile loop that showcases some dramatic geology. It's considered by some to be the most fascinating geological formation in the western United States. One of the most striking features of the loop is the Uinta Fault. Rock layers have been thrust up and tilted at a dramatic angle, making it easy to see different strata stacked in unusual formations. On the loop stands a memorial to a family of 7 that died in a catastrophic debris flow triggered by a heavy rainstorm in June of 1965 at what was Palisades Campground. To honor those who perished, the area is now open only to day use at Palisades Memorial Park. In addition to these bighorn sheep, there are deer, elk, and various birds of prey that can be commonly seen, especially in early morning and late evenings. Once we completed the loop, we got back on Scenic Highway 44 to check out the other small town of Manila. It was only a few miles up the road. The town itself is only 3 to 4 miles from the Wyoming border. Although it's small like Dutch John, there seems to be more services here. We had some lunch before heading back. You always know outdoor people when they fill their spaces with taxidermy. We got some gas and headed back down to see Swett Ranch. Because we're visiting in September, the ranch was available for us to walk around, but there's no tours. The ranch is a historical homestead located near Flaming Gorge, established in 1909 by Oscar Swett and his wife Emma. The ranch was built from the ground up using hand tools and local materials. The Swett family raised 9 children. 9. That in itself is a magnificent feat. Oscar was known for his resourcefulness, growing food, raising cattle, and even generating electricity with a homemade water wheel. Relying only on the land must have been a real challenge, especially during harsh winter months. The family stayed on the ranch until 1968. Today, the ranch is preserved by the U.S. Forest Service as a historic site. All in their original place, the log buildings, including the family home, are here, and the farm equipment laying scattered around as if the family just left. It's preserved to tell the story of hard-working homesteaders who live simply and push forward with great determination. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. We are really liking this area and decided to take one more day here. We got a late start because of the weather, but wanted to venture out to see John Jarvis Ranch in Browns Park, near the Colorado border. You can tell when you're in Wyoming because the road isn't paved. John Jarvis was a Scottish-born immigrant who settled with his wife Nellie Barr in 1870 along the Green River. Over time, he built a general store, a trading post, and served as a postmaster for Browns Park. He also operated a ferry across the Green River to help people and goods move across the river. But his interests didn't stop here. He had mining and livestock interests as well. The ranch thrived under John's stewardship for decades, but in 1909 he was murdered during a robbery reportedly involving 2 transient men, one of whom he employed. After his death, his property passed to his sons, but the ranch never regained the same level of operation under them. The site was a vital supply post in a lawless region known as an outlaw hideout. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were rumored to have passed through. Jarvis ran the store with integrity and neutrality, earning respect for all sides until he was murdered, adding to the site's legend. Today, the ranch is managed by the BLM and offers a uniquely authentic window into frontier life, trade, and survival in the American West.
So these fences and some of the houses were all made out of railroad ties. Railroad didn't come anywhere near here, but up in the Wind River Range is where they cut the ties, and then they would send them down the Green River to Green River, Wyoming, where they would collect them, and then they would get off to the different railroads. But a lot of them didn't get stopped in the Green River and came on down to the Flaming Gorge area, and that's where he picked them up out of the river and used them to build a lot of the fences and stuff. So apparently there were a lot of these railroad ties that they didn't catch and came on down the river, because a lot of the stuff around here is built out of those railroad ties. And you can look at them and tell that they were railroad ties.
We had passed through here a few years ago, spending a quick night before moving on. This trip we got to explore the area. We were both surprised at the beauty of the water and surrounding landscape. We feel like this could be a place that we could return to and explore even more. Join us next week as we explore another beautiful Utah lake known as the Caribbean of the Rockies and stumble upon a great surprise in off-roading. Subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss an episode.